Hello, in this video I want to talk about why the emotional abuser will want to turn you and your solicitor against each other. Hello, I'm Elizabeth Goddard from Revive Your Soul. And on this channel I talk about healing from emotional abuse and divorcing from the emotional abuser. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe, and if you're returning, welcome back and thank you. So on this video, I want to talk about why the emotional abuser will try and turn you and your solicitor against each other. Now, you might have experienced this behaviour and seen what they are able to do, what are capable of doing with either yourself and other people. And yet here they are trying to convince you not to trust your solicitor. So in this video, I want to talk about what they really mean and what they really want. The techniques that they use, how they keep you trapped. And finally, at the end, I'll give you some tips on how to deal with it and save your sanity. So the fairy tale is over and you are now faced with divorce. You might have already found a solicitor and got representation. And this really isn't what they want. What they will do is try and gaslight you. Gaslighting is a covert way of distorting another person's perception of reality, making them question their sanity and their memory. You may believe you can't trust yourself. You might start to believe the abuser's version of events. Gaslighting or cognitive dissonance is a very unique experience for each individual. They told you were crazy or that you were paranoid when you started to question things. Gaslighting is used to gain power and control over another person. They use it to convince you that they're right and your perception of what happened is wrong. Gaslighting was used to manipulate you and to trauma bond you. You believed they were looking after you when in fact they were actually abusing you. And they erased the abuse that took place by playing the victim and turning everything around to be your fault. They changed or fabricated conversations or events that happened. So when you enter into the divorce process, you should be doing what they want and dancing to their tune. They'll tell you you don't need a solicitor and that they will look after you. The really covert ones will be telling you things like, I don't mean it like that, I'm just thinking of you and what the costs will be. I'm going to put a link to my video, The 5 Things the Emotional Abuser Tells You When You're Negotiating Divorce Explained. It's a long title. On the surface, they sound very plausible. They'll tell you you must have dreamt a situation, or that you're mistaken about something, or that they didn't say or do something. They might have told you that you had the problem, or that you had trust issues, or that everyone else says that you're too sensitive, bad with money, forgetting things, and you ended up questioning if it was you. So here you are now, and they're trying to get you to doubt if you've done the right thing. Or it might be really early in the process and you're trying to decide who to appoint. If you are doing research and looking into the best fit for you, you might hear them trying to dissuade you from appointing a solicitor, trying to convince you that you don't need one and that you can trust them. So what I want you to do is recall what they have done to you in the past. And remember, gaslighting was designed to drive you crazy. It was done to disturb your brain function so that you couldn't think straight, and you then ended up questioning your sanity. I want you to remember all the people you saw them abandon. I want you to remember all the people they deserted when they didn't like what they were told or they didn't want to hear the truth. And I want you to remember why you are in this position. The good news is I do have some tips to deal with this, and I want you to start by writing down this statement. 2 statements. They didn't tell you the truth in the relationship. Why are they telling you the truth now? You didn't trust them during the relationship, and yet you're looking at trusting them now. Is there a situation that's not too triggering that you can write down that reminds you of their behaviour, reminds you of why you can't trust them? They might have stolen your money, they might have lied to you, they might have cheated. Is there a situation? The more specific you can be, the better. I'm in this position because of you, or I'm in this position because of your behaviour, and then you can write something after that to remind you. How are you going to be dealing with this? Where are you going to be filing the paperwork? Maybe put it as a big prompt that reminds you every time you go down that route of believing what they're telling you and believing that they're doing it for you, it reminds you of what they've done to you. Also remember that they are not doing anything to help you. This is all to help them. It's all to do with damage limitation. You haven't lived up to the version of you they created in their head, and you are now not fit for purpose, and this is the reason that you were discarded. The divorce process is something they have to go to. It's a box that needs to be ticked, but they will understand the level of supply it holds for them and the level of supply that can be extracted from you. They will be making sure that anything they have will be protected from you. The reason they don't want you to get a solicitor is that a solicitor be working with your best interests in mind, not theirs. The abuser will question you and your relationship, and they will ask who's telling you this information, making you doubt your choice and make you wonder if the solicitor knows exactly what they're doing. Put post-it notes around or messages around reminding yourself how important you are, reminding yourself that you couldn't trust them before. Why are they suddenly trustworthy? And then make a list of 10 things that you'd trust them with. And once you've done that, then you can respond. Would you trust them with your children? Would you trust them with a pet? Would you trust them with your best friends? Would you trust them with your money? You might not need it, but make sure you are prepared. But one thing I want you to do is trust your intuition. I hope the video has been of use to you. If you'd like to find out more ways of working with me, I'm going to put some details in the description box below. I'll also put the links to both my books, Finding Lily and The A to Z of Emotional Abuse. And I'm also in the process of writing 3 things you should never do divorcing a narcissist. Please don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel if you can. I'm sending you loads and loads and loads of love.